What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today we're coming back for another episode of the Fight IQ show. First episode of the week, so you know it, that's the weekend's review. I'm gonna rank the top 3 fights that happened last weekend and tell you why they were bangers. To make this ranking, I base my opinion on these criteria: the excitement, the duration of the fight, opposition level, and the way to finish the fight. After that, I'll mention a few other fights that might be worth your attention. So let's get ready to rumble! Despite the biggest event being the Super Bowl this weekend, we had some really good fights. I picked my top 3 after watching the UFC Fight Night in Vegas, LFA 176 in Phoenix, and Oktagon 53 in Oberhausen, Germany. I wanted to watch the Dylan vs Bellotti boxing card, but I didn't have time yet, so maybe for later. Number 3, I picked Dan Ige vs Andre Fili, co-main event of the UFC Fight Night, which was in Vegas on Saturday 10th. And because it was short, I only ranked it third. But what a statement from 50k Ige. From the beginning I knew it was going to be special. He looked really emotional but focused in his Octagon entrance. And it was not easy because they both had to fight a friend, but they succeeded to put that friendship aside. Ige started the fight cautiously, guard up, staying outside of Fili's reach, but ready to explode and unload heavy shots. Fili was more staying outside, using his long limbs to hit without getting hit. He had a really good jab but was not able to build something out of it. He seemed to be willing to bait Dan Ige and counter instead of building his own combinations. But 50k stayed committed to his game plan, every shots were sent to do damage. And around 2:20 left in the round 1, while Fili was trying to poke him with the jab, Ige caught him with a beautiful right overhand. The lights were already out, but he followed with a nasty right hand in ground and pound for good measure. Such an amazing one-punch knockout power that Ige has. It will not be an easy task to get him out of the rankings, and he proved it once again. A lot of respect after the fight between the two fighters / friends, and what to say about Dan Ige post-interview. He said his wife was in labor, so he had to get out of there quickly. I really love this fight, should get the KO of the night in my opinion. Congratulations to Dan Ige, and I wish a good recovery to Andre Fili. Number 2, Brad Tavares vs Gregory Rodrigues. Main card of the UFC Fight Night in Vegas on Saturday 10th. I predicted a KO in the preview and I got it right, but that was to be expected when you have two colossus colliding. No observation, they directly went into each other. Great pressure from Rodrigues, clearly willing to put Tavares back against the cage and light him up in the pocket. Tavares had the speed advantage, he was not letting himself getting slaughtered, he countered with good shots and he showed Robocop that he was not going anywhere. Rodrigues also reminded Tavares that he could bring the fight to the ground, mixed things up a little bit, throw a little bit of wrestling against the cage, and then releasing to unload massive strikes. It was really an impressive first round from Robocop, but Tavares was still there, not giving up. And round 2 was way better from his part. He was picking up the pace, setting up good combos, staying a moving target. Rodrigues clearly slowed down the rhythm, he was less accurate in his striking, less pressure, but he succeeded to secure a takedown with 1 minute left in the round and finished on top. So I had one round for each fighter entering the third and final round, and Robocop came out willing to finish the fight. Was kind of a rewind from round 1, we had aggressivity, pressure, heavy shots, then he caught Tavares with a powerful right hand with his back against the fence, and he kept throwing unanswered punches to him until the ref stepped in to stop the fight. Beautiful performance from Gregory Rodrigues, it's really scary the power this guy has for middleweight. But hats off to Tavares, it was a tough fight but he did his best and caused issues to Rodrigues. I'd like to see Rodrigues face a ranked opponent next or someone close to being ranked. I think it's time for him. And number 1, Jack Hermansson vs Joe Pyfer. It was the main event of the UFC Fight Night in Vegas on Saturday 10th. Ranked number 1 in the preview and ranked number 1 in the review, quite logically it was a high level fight. Pyfer made his power felt from the very beginning and Hermansson seemed stunned every time Joe landed a big shot. To be honest, I thought it would not last long after seeing the first round. Pyfer had so much success with the left hook and the calf kicks, perfectly set up, great IQ, and Hermansson kept backing up without doing damage. But the Joker started to find some solution in round 2, he had his guard up, marching forward, using calf kicks on his own, but Pyfer was still the one doing the most damage. But you could see he was less active though, Hermansson making him doubt a little bit, but still 2-0 for Pyfer after 2 rounds. From the third round, Hermansson used his experience, his vision and his great cardio in order to take over the fight. He started to use his jab, by the way a real game changer, using his knee in close distance, shout out to the wonderful knee plus Superman punch combo that worked a few times, and Pyfer was unable to adapt, he was too static. He stopped the stuff that were working early in the fight, such as the calf kicks and the left hook. He also didn't use his good wrestling skills as much as he should have, and when he did, he didn't commit all the way to it. Of course, credit also goes to the Joker for having messed with Pyfer's head. He brought a lot of volume to him, making it a 25 minutes fight. So logical victory for Hermansson, a great performance. He showed he was not ready to give up his spot yet. He called out Nassourdine Imavov next, but I'm not sure the UFC will plan it. I don't think it's the trajectory from Nassourdine Imavov at the moment. I'd like Hermansson to face the loser from Costa versus Whittaker, which is next weekend. Tough loss for Pyfer, but I think that's a good lesson. The guy is young and he's really good. It could be cool to match him versus Gregory Rodrigues, for example, or maybe Chris Curtis, Roman Dolidze, that kind of fighters. 2 other fights made it really close to enter my top 3. First one, Carlos Prates versus Trevin Giles. It was in the UFC Fight Night. It was a really entertaining fight concluded by an amazing KO from Carlos Prates. I was really close to rank it number 3. Second one was Antoine O versus Miguel Sanson, co-main event of the LFA 176. Really entertaining fight between 2 top flyweight prospects. High level grappling, really fun to watch. Antoine O won via unanimous decision, he is now 6-0 as a professional. I wouldn't be surprised to see him by the UFC really soon. We had some good performances from either Amel, Bogdan Guskov, Marcin Prashnio, Michael Johnson and Rodolfo Vieira at the UFC Fight Night. I was a bit disappointed by Lokbunmi versus Bruna Brazil. I expected more, especially from Bruna Brazil. And I also expected a little bit more from Bolaji Oki, but still a good win for him on his debut on a short notice opponent. The LFA 176 main card was really fun, some nice prospects to watch. Robson Jr., Leslie Hernandez, Mansour Abdelmalik. I'm gonna follow them closely. The co-main event was dope as I mentioned earlier, and a good main event too. Domination from Elijah Jones thanks to his wrestling and grappling skills. New featherweight champion. Was really cool. Oktagon 53, like I said in the preview, was not their best card, but I enjoyed some of the fights. For example, Miroslav Broz versus Tom Crosby was really fun to watch. They gave it all in. Also, Islam Dulatov, who finished his opponent John Palaiologos at the last second of round 1. By the way, great prospect to watch, Islam Dulatov. And we also had a disputed strawweight title where Katarina Dalizda defended the title successfully. So that's it regarding last weekend. If you enjoyed that video, please give a hard punch to those like and subscribe buttons, it helps me a lot. I see that we are getting more people with us these days, so I hope it keeps going up. Go hit the comments, Discord, Telegram and Instagram with your thoughts on the last bangers. I'll see you later this week.